Okay, so I have to show you guys something. So, beautiful rainbow right here. It's crazy, right? And then there's the city down there. I think it's Manoa. And then as I started walking, look at this. It is so covered up in like branches and whatever that like it's like pitch black in here all of a sudden. It's super creepy. It's like sunny out there. Super creepy. But I'm going in because I think that's how to get back to the car. I'm not sure. I'll find out. What is up, beasts? All right, I'm driving up this super bumpy and curvy road. I probably shouldn't be filming, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Okay, so Tim, Matt, and Joel asked me really interesting questions, and I think this is actually something that applies to most guys when they first start working out, so I figured I'd make a video about it. So you guys asked about rest days and how to stay motivated and how to overall balance your lifestyle when you are living this fitness lifestyle, right? So today is my rest day. I'm gonna be going on a hike, and I figured I would take you guys along so that I can show you guys this beautiful hike that I'm gonna go on, and we can kind of break down what it means to do a rest day, how to keep your life balanced, and how to stay motivated to, keep crushing your fitness and life goals in general for the long term. So come along. I'm excited to take you guys on this hike. First things first, bug spray. It's a must when you hike in Hawaii. I get bitten up like crazy all the time. So let's get to this. All right, so now that I'm on this beautiful trail, check out this archway with this tree. Amazing, huh? Man. All right, so now that I'm on this beautiful trail here, let's dive into it. But before I start talking about, gotta go through an arch. Before I start talking about rest days, how to stay motivated and all that, I want to kind of take a step back here and give you a little bit of an insight what led me to really learning the essence of the importance of taking rest days and of finding that balance in your life, and why I stress it for not just my own fitness and health journey, but for all of my clients. So I've been working out for about 12 years now. And when I first started working out, probably like many of you, I wanted to see results. I wanted to see them fast. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to take any rest days. I'm just going to go intense, train every day, blah, 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 right? And I did that for quite some time. It probably took me like 6 years to snap out of it, to be honest. Because even on my rest days, I'd be doing endless cardio and stuff like that. So, but then, it came to a point where my body was no longer responding, which was absolutely crazy to me, because I thought, okay, the harder I push, the more results I'll get, because that's kind of what you're taught. But my body stopped responding, and I really just wasn't in it mentally anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't having fun anymore, and I had completely lost touch with why I wanted to get into fitness in the first place and becoming healthy. And so long story short, it pretty much ended up feeling like I was just going through the motion and throwing through the motions and not really, I wasn't there mentally anymore for my training, right? And then my results started again declining, and even though I started pushing harder and harder and harder, and I feel like that happens to a lot of us, because when we first, get this fitness bug and we're like, all right, we want to get in shape, or I want to get in shape overnight, I want to have a six-pack by my wedding day, or whatever it is, we just go into this grind mode and we dig away without taking a step back to reset, and then we just end up burning out, which is exactly what ended up happening to me. So not only did my results start declining, not only did I stop having fun with it, but I actually burned out completely, and I had to come to a complete halt and reset. And now, although I 100% admire the drive and I feel it and I want it from all of my clients, I want them to go out and crush it and want to achieve their results by X date, the most important thing to remember is that fitness is not a 12-week, 8-week, 6-week journey, whatever it is. It is a lifelong pursuit to not only looking good, because your looks will fade, but feeling good and staying active and staying healthy in the long term, right? Now, in order to achieve that, we really have to incorporate these rest days and enjoy them. Now, again, it's my rest day today. I wanted to be active today, so I figured I'd go on a little hike. And this ended up being perfect because with my work, I spend so much time in front of the computer, so much time, in the studio and stuff like that, that getting out of the city completely and just being buried in a bamboo forest, how cool is this? Is exactly what I need to reset myself mentally and give my body the time it needs to heal, because this is a completely different sort of training that I usually do, right? And if I woke up this morning and I was like, hey, I'm tired, I would have laid down and I would have not beat myself up for it, because the goal is to listen to our bodies, because that is what's gonna allow us to achieve these results in the long term. Now, that also leads me into that second part of that question. I think Joel asked it. Whoa, sun is like hitting it hard right now. I think Joel asked it about Tim asked, how do I expect my clients to stay motivated? And again, that goes back to taking yourself out of your day-to-day, groundhog day, and putting yourself into something that allows you to completely reset and refresh yourself. Like, again, I'm doing this hike and there's a bamboo bridge, but a lot of bridges and arches here, huh? Isn't that cool? Yeah, but yeah, so that's what allows you to stay motivated, right? And that's what gets you excited to go back to working out tomorrow, to go back to your diet tomorrow, when you had that day to completely remove yourself. And then you're like, man, after 2 or 3 days of working out, you're kind of like, okay, I need a little break. After a week, you're like, wow, okay, this is a lot. And then you remove yourself completely. And then you find yourself like, dang, I want to get back to training. And then your training is really, really, good. And that's when you really start packing on results. So that is why rest days are so important. Now, how do we do a rest day? Like I said, you can listen to your body. That's the most important thing. Sometimes on rest days, I'll do a little bit of abs. Sometimes on rest days, I'll lay on the couch and I'll just watch TV for half of the day. And sometimes on rest days, I'll be doing a hike or going to the beach, or luckily I live in Hawaii, right? Or something like that. It's really about listening to your body and respecting your body. And once you learn how to do that, you're going to see that your results just compile on themselves, and you really stay committed to this and stay motivated to this for more than just a month or 3 months, but for years. All right, I got to this really cool little like Harry Potter looking, going into the forest staircase here. It's really cool. I'll cut a video to it right here so you can enjoy this beautiful hike with me. But so I want to talk about, the flip side of things, right? So we've talked about how important it is to take those rest days, right? But now let's talk about how important it is to also get back on it, right? Because just like we can kind of fall into that groundhog day of, working out every day, once we take a rest day, that can easily turn into 2 rest days and 3 rest days and 4 rest days and so on. So it is important to use that rest day as exactly that, and use that as kind of a reset, and get excited to get back to crushing it, okay? If once you find yourself kind of in that spiral of, having 3 or 4 rest days in a row, the first thing you got to do is don't beat yourself up. You don't want to be like, man, I suck, I can't do this, and throw it away, right? You want to get back to it, and you want to tell yourself, hey, I've accomplished this much. I took a little time off. That is okay. I balanced out my life. I did exactly what I needed to do, and I respected my body, which takes a lot of courage to do. But now it is time to get back to crushing it, right? So that's kind of how you have to flip that switch when, that rest day, because it can happen. It happens to me too. It happens to everyone. Turns into a rest week, right? You got to kind of find that motivation, flip that switch, look back at how far you've come over the last, X amount of time, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, whatever it is. And to remember what motivated you to start in the first place, and get right back to it. Because again, the goal here is balance, right? We want to balance the training and we want to balance the rest, right? Very, very important. Now, let's talk about, another cool staircase. Look at this. Boom. I'll cut another B-roll to it. So let's talk about diet right now.
I have all of my clients follow, for most of my programs, I have them follow 6 days of dieting followed by one sort of rest day from dieting. And I follow the same in my personal life as well. Now, but then, you know, a lot of times clients, when they first start out, they come to me, they're like, hey man, I don't want to take that 7th day off of dieting. I'm seeing results. I want to keep crushing it. And I want to keep, I want to keep sticking with my diet for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. I don't need the cheat meal, right? I don't need the day off the diet, right? Now, again, I love that. I love that drive. That's exactly what you need to achieve your goals. However, it is extremely important to take time off the diet as well, because your body just wants to get to a state of homeostasis. It pretty much just wants to plateau, right? It wants to be normal. So what's going to happen is if you stay in a caloric deficit for too long, your metabolism, well, there's a lot more science to it than this, but in a nutshell, your metabolism will slow down as well, and you're essentially going to be burning less calories, right? So we want to avoid that from happening, okay? So we give ourselves 1 day a week where we don't eat like crappy food, but we eat in a caloric surplus, and we enjoy a cheat meal or treat meal or whatever you want to call it, to allow our body to restore its glycogen and to allow ourselves to speed up that metabolism again, so that when we go into that caloric deficit again the next day, we continue to shed fat without losing muscle, right? Because we've restored our glycogen. So really, really important to balance out that diet as well, right? And, even though it might not feel like it at first, but when, after 2 or 3 weeks of following the strict diet, you are gonna find yourself really craving food. And then once you kind of get that cheat meal, you're gonna binge eat, and you're just gonna take a step back, a giant step back in your health and in your physical transformation. That's why those weekly little breaks are very important, because it gives you an opportunity to eat whatever you felt like eating, whatever you've been craving. And in turn, it prevents you from sort of binging and going down that unhealthy, whoa, I'm on a bridge. Cool, huh? I haven't done this hike before, so I'm kind of exploring. But going down back into those unhealthy patterns. So taking that rest day along with that cheat meal, very, very important. You're not just resting your physique, but you're resting your metabolism. And again, the most important thing in all of it is giving yourself that mental break. And again, the flip side of that is, okay, you have that ice cream, you're like, oh my God, and then you end up waking up the next day and you have that sugar craving, you're like, okay, I'm gonna have more ice cream. That's when, again, you gotta go back to remembering why you started, how far you've come, and, flipping that switch and being like, okay, now it's time to hustle again. I'm going to get back to it. And I know I'm only 6 days away from enjoying that ice cream again, right? Again, all about balance. And with tools like these, it's almost impossible for you to lose motivation. I mean, you see it when you're on the Beast Brotherhood, right? But if you're not part of Basement Beast, Beast Brotherhood is our Facebook group where all of us kind of connect and chat with each other. And you'll see it on there. I mean, many of us, look, I'm going down steps now, have been following this for like 2 years now, you know what I mean? Which is amazing. And so, or a year and a half, which we launched Basement Beast a year and a half ago. So that's amazing. And the way we're able to do that is by incorporating those cheat meals, which allow us to never really have those cravings, right? So again, very, very important to find that balance. Now, last but not least, man, I'm like at the top of the mountain now. Straight down, you can't really see it, but it's absolutely beautiful. But last but not least, we've talked about rest days, right? We've talked about how they're so important and how they really help you find balance in your life. But and essentially they'll help you stay motivated. But what happens if nothing works and you're just not motivated? You're just not motivated to get back to working out, which again can happen to all of us. It's 100%. Oh, I almost slipped. It's 100% okay. The most important thing to do in that case is to not beat yourself up. Is to remember how far you've come. Even if you've just been working out for a week, it doesn't matter. You've committed an entire week, or even if you just did one workout, it doesn't matter. You committed an entire workout to this new momentum that you have in your life, right? And use that, again, whether it's been a month or a week or 1 day or a year. Use that drive to keep going and remember what got you there in the first place, and use that to just kick yourself out of that rut, because we all lose motivation once in a while. I do too. What I do is I look back at how far I've come, and I look back at why I started. And I use that to just get back to crushing it, okay? And we also have to remember who we do it for, right? Because fitness is one of the most selfless things you can do, because if you're healthy, if you feel good, if you have, you know, that drive to get after it, it allows you to be the best person you can possibly be for your friends, for your family, for your loved ones, for your community, and for strangers, right? So it's very, very important to stay on that pursuit. So if for nothing else, do it for the other people in your life. Get back on that horse and jump back to it. So that's motivation. That's how to get motivated. That's rest days. That's all that. I hope I covered it. A little bit of an insight here. This is the first YouTube video I'm making, you know, and it took me like a month to be like, okay, I'm going to do this YouTube thing. And oh, look, it says hazardous cliff. That's why I slipped earlier. You see it? Yeah. It took me like a month to get this thing started, because I don't know, you know, it's really weird to like talk to yourself in front of the camera. So I figured I'm gonna go on a hike, no one can see me, and I'm gonna talk to my camera for a little bit and talk about rest days. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And then again, I'm gonna be answering more questions that I get from the Beast brothers on the Facebook group via videos like these. And you know, if you enjoyed this video, I think this is what you're supposed to say, because this is what all YouTubers say. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and subscribe so that you can stay notified for when I have the next video come out. Okay? Oh man, I'll show you guys this view. Oh man. I'm gonna cut in some more clips from like the hike and stuff in this, but until next time, aloha. Every once in Hawaii, there will just be random wild chickens in the forest. Crazy, huh?